horse is a horse, of course, and no one can talk to a horse, of course. That is, of course, unless the horse is the famous Mr. Ed. Go right to the source and ask the horse. He'll give you the answer that you endorse. He's always on a steady course. Talk to Mr. Ed. People yakety-yak a streak and waste your time of day. But Mr. Ed will never speak unless he has something to say. A horse is a horse, of course, and this one will talk till his voice is hoarse. You never heard of a talking horse? I am Mr. Ed. Is a horse, of course. No one can talk to a horse, of course. That is, of course, unless the horse is the famous Mr. Ed. Go right to the source and ask the horse. He'll give you the answer that you endorse. He's always on a steady course. Talk to Mr. Ed. People yakety-yak a streak and waste your time a day. But Mr. Ed will never speak unless he has something to say. A horse is a horse, of course, and this one will talk till his voice is hoarse. You never heard of a talking horse? Well, listen to this. I am Mr. Ed.
So the situation was that we were at the Greenville Bar and Grill. I actually played there for 5 years. I started there in bass sax for 2 years. And then Hal Baker, who was one of the leaders, basically Hal and McClendon, the drummer, were the two leaders. And when
that's
Hal,
the band I remember.
Right, and when Hal got ill before he passed away, I switched over and played clarinet and soprano. So, and Bud Dresser was fronting the band, and so this guy comes in named Bucks Burnett, and he talks to us and basically says, "I'm promoting a concert at the Bronco Bowl." So he said, I'm promoting this concert, and I wonder, could I get the band to back Tiny Tim? Well, it was funny because, and the band was unique at that period in that we were a 6-piece band and we had 6 different decades covered. I was still in my 30s. Bob Leroy, the bass player, was in his 40s. Bud was in his 50s. Wee Lynn, keyboard player, wonderful keyboard, was in his 60s. Snuffy Klaus, the trumpet player, was in his 70s, and McClendon was in his 80s. So when the guy talked to us at the Bar and Grill about this, basically all except the older two, we were for it. We thought, hey, this sounds like fun. The older two didn't want to do it. I mean, they went both Snuffy and Bob. They just said no. We don't need to do that. We said, come on, it'll be fun and all that. So we agreed to do it. Shortly thereafter, he comes in again, the promoter, a couple of weeks later or whatever, and says, hey, I want to do a 45 with Tiny Tim, and so would you do a 45 with us? He set up a date. He called us. So we didn't know if Tiny Tim was going to show up or not, because we didn't know if we were just going to play it and then they'd mix in the vocal. Well, so there we are, and again, the two old guys didn't want to do the recordings, and we said no, we gotta, and fortunately it was like 4 against 2, so we show up to the place not knowing, and in comes Bucks Burnett with Tiny Tim. So they come in for it. So anyhow, they said, well, we want to do 2 sides. One, because this is a Mr. Ed type thing, and I'm not sure why. He says he wants Tiny to sing Mr. Ed on the one side, and Tiny agreed to it, but only if he could pick the other side. And the other side, he picked Memories from Cats. Don't know why. So anyhow, there we are with Tiny, and he couldn't not have been a friendlier guy. And he wanted to call everybody Mr. You know, Tiny, it's Bob. Oh, Mr. Krenkel, I appreciate you and all this. And couldn't have been a nicer guy. And that was, now Bucks Burnett said that, because I don't think there was much of a crowd. And so Buck said he lost, I don't know, he said something, because yesterday was the 39th anniversary of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so he did several things on Facebook. As a matter of fact, he runs a record store, actually not far from here.
Oh, really?
Called 14 Records or something like that.
Up here on Garland Road.
I think so. 14 Records, basically deals in used records primarily. And so he said in a recent, just last day or so, post on Facebook that he lost $25,000 on this.
God. And that was 1980s money too.
Oh yeah. This was 84. Yeah, I stopped by the record store a couple of years ago, and he took a picture of me and him holding the record.
Send me that.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, this was Bucks at the time, and there was Tiny.
Oh, great.
And this was the night of the concert. This is actually a video of one of the tunes at the concert. And I've seen this before.
What's he singing?
Memories.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Is that all you got?
And that's all I got. Now, and Buck said that they found other tape of that, and they were trying to put it together. And he said,
does that show any of the band, or is it just on Tiny?
No, it shows the band too.
Okay.
Like I said, he did a bunch of stuff on Facebook because it's the 39th, anniversary.
Yeah. Well, we need to do something special for the 40th.
Yeah.
Midnight, not a sound from the pavement, as the moon lost her memory. She is smiling alone in the lamplight. The withered leaves collect at my feet, and the wind begins to moan. Memory, all alone in the moonlight, I can smile at the old days. She was beautiful then. I remember the time I knew what happiness was. Let the memory live again. Every street lamp seems to beat a fatalistic warning. Someone mutters and a street lamp gutters, and soon it will be morning. Daylight, I must wait for the sunrise. I must think of a new life, and I mustn't give in. When the dawn comes, tonight will be a memory too, and a new day will begin. La-da-dee-da-da-dee-da, la-da-dee-dee-da-da-dee, and I mustn't give in, no. When the dawn comes, tonight will be a memory too, and a new day will begin, and a new